For this trip to Sarajevo, I stayed at Hotel Europe or Hotel Europa, and I had this gorgeous little suite. The best thing about it, obviously, is the location. It's right in the middle of Sarajevo and very close to the old town, so you get to explore Baš. My obsession with Bosnian food in particular, but really food in general, is the reason why I wrote the Bosnian cookbook in English. And I wrote it about my uncle, which is this guy right here. And as part of this trip, we basically got to go and explore a couple of different places to eat in and around Bosnia, obviously while I was trying to get to all of my meetings. Sarajevo is an incredibly walkable city, and it is a mix of these really wonderful extremes. So you've got anything from really nice farmers markets, high-end shops, to nostalgia about the pre-war Bosnia, to Bosnian medieval tombstones, which is what these stečci are. They're scattered throughout Sarajevo. A lot of the history of the region is really evident in both the architecture, but then also in the way the city is utilized now. Nevertheless, for me, it's always coming back to the food, right? These are my favorite. There is quite a number of both more boutique bakeries, but then just also common everyday bakeries that people utilize. The thing that I really like doing was just grabbing a snack and then sitting and doing some people watching. The cat's very similar to Istanbul. You're going to find animals everywhere. They're really well looked after. That cat and I shared a meal, as you could probably see earlier. Walking through the old town, through Baš, is something that you should do a couple of times a day, because the sights of it change throughout the day. It is something that I really enjoyed about my most recent trip. But Ajlović is another well-known Bosnian chef, and he's still operating. So he's got this shop called Kod Punice, which means at your mother-in-law's, and that is in Baš. It just focuses on lepine, which is the Turkish bread roll, suho meso, which is this dry brezola that we have in Bosnia, and then also kajmak, which is a cream cheese consistency. He's also got another shop further out on Ilija. This is Daja and I obviously going to check it out. And here you'll have a wider range of Bosnian food. So you've got your lamb on the spit. I mean, of course, we're back to the cheese and the bread roll always. But also more classic things like steak and chips and pastries and so on. Highly recommend. Was stunning. The other hotel I stayed in, which was at the end of all of my meetings on my last day in Sarajevo, was the Hamam Hotel, and that is done in the traditional Ottoman style. I had one of the suites. It was really beautiful, really comfortable, really clean, very, very nice hospitality. This little tea was gorgeous. What I really liked about this hotel was how close it was to the center of everything, but it sort of made you focus on a slightly, couple of 100 meters away, different part of Sarajevo. So it was on the other side of Miljacka, which is the river that runs through Sarajevo. And I really, really enjoyed the way it fit within that second part of the old town. There are two buildings in Sarajevo that are personally my favorite story. So one is the Old Town Hall. For a long time it was the city library. It got burnt down during the war and then it got restored, which is amazing. But when it was built, this house here, Inat Kucha, which to translate into English is the House of Spite, had to be moved to the other side of the river. Why? Well, when the Austro-Hungarians were trying to build the town hall, the gentleman who owned that house would not agree unless it was moved brick by brick to the other side of the river, and therefore it's now a national monument. It hosts a restaurant that focuses on more stunning Bosnian cuisine, and I have dined there previously. I haven't on this trip, but I highly recommend it if you are in Sarajevo. There is a unique sound of the coppersmith that you're going to be able to hear as you're walking through Baš Čaršija, which is the old town. And I think this is a beautiful place to see an old trade that is still alive and functioning, and I strongly recommend it for souvenirs. I bought a lot of earrings that I then brought home as gifts for friends and family. Gradska tržnica is the main food hall or indoor food market in town. It is very central and I strongly recommend it as the place to round off your Bosnian culinary journey. The cheese products, smoked cheeses, smoked meats, but just all the other staples as well are absolutely wonderful. They're made obviously not just locally but by small producers with a real, farm to table experience. I strongly recommend that you stop here. And then that was it for me. It was time to fly back home with Turkish Airlines. My next stop was Istanbul, so we'll see you there.